Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Happy New Comic Book Day.
It is. It's also Obi-Wan Wednesday.
Obi-Wan Wednesday, Miss Marvel Wednesday. It's a good day. And it's a good day to talk about a Kickstarter project that's going on right now. The Tales from the Cloakroom. Scott Snyder presents Tales from the Cloakroom.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting story about how this came about. And let's bring in some of the creators from this awesome anthology series and have them introduce yourselves. I guess we'll start. We'll start at the top here, Ari, and then kind of snake our way down to Matt.
Hey everyone, I'm Ari. I'm in Toronto, Canada. I part of the Tales from the Cloakroom anthology. I submitted a short 6-pager called Chosen, sci-fi story. Might end up talking about all that a little later. Had a great time, and I look forward to hearing what else we talk about.
I'm CK Lawson. I'm the editor, story consultant, and writer on the collection.
Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm from Lima, Peru, and I've got a story on the collection that I wrote and I drew as well. I'm excited to be here.
Chris Solis submitted a quick 3-pager to the anthology. Had a great time doing it with everybody. Really excited to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Matt Dodge. I'm in Ottawa, Canada, and I have a 6-page story in the collection called Armor, and that I wrote. And I'm really happy to be here and talk about it.
2 Canadians.
We got people from all over the world with us tonight, so it's awesome. And we've got one person. Oh, looks like 4 people watching live. 1 person commenting.
Hello.
Oh, hello, John, and hello, Matthew. Unless that was Matt commenting in the chat.
I don't think so.
Double duty.
Well, thank you guys for being here tonight to talk about the anthology series, which kicked off yesterday on Kickstarter and is going on awesomely so far. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Congrats, everybody.
So one thing I think everyone wants to know is how is Scott Snyder's name tied to this, and how did you guys all come together to create this anthology series?
Sure. So, back when Substack started bringing in all of the comics writers and all those deals started going down, one thing that drew me at least to Scott's was the offer of the class. Basically, you pay $7 a month and you get a month of class with him. And it's been really awesome. And how that dovetailed into the collection was back in the fall. Judge Schuster created the idea. It was his little nugget of wisdom, and he realized he needed to bring some people on with different skill sets to make it reality. So then he brought on another co-editor, Ben O'Grady, who. So part of the class is there's this Discord server, and it's like 1,000+ people in there. At the time, I was brand new to Discord, so it was easy for me to keep track of everything because I only had one channel to keep up with. And so Ben started posting, hey, if you're interested in an anthology, like hit us up. And so then they formed this little side community of about 40 people who wanted to pursue that anthology work. And so his name, Scott Snyder's name, is attached because one, we all met, all the writers at least met in the class, some of the artists too, and then some like Alyssa here are the artist and the writer themselves. And then his name is also attached because very early in the process, he and his team, especially Tyler Janis, his assistant editor, has been very, very supportive from the get-go. They haven't been involved with the like day-to-day editorial work or any guidance on that end. That's definitely been all of us and stuff. But because I don't want to diminish anyone's skills or talent there. But he has definitely been supportive and been like, hey, if you need me to give you some shout outs, let me know. I'm cheering you on in the background kind of thing. So he gave us early on, he gave us permission to use his name.
That's really nice of him.
It's a great origin story for everyone meeting. And like, I remember hearing about the the Substack that he was doing in the teaching class. So
I think he posted about it on a like Instagram or something too. He's like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna do this thing."
yeah,
Glad to see that something actually came of it.
yeah,
it's super cool how many people it actually reached out to. Looking at how many people, especially just in like our little group right here, you get a lot of different people from all over.
It's nice to know that there's a little bit of comics everywhere.
absolutely.
Definitely shine in the heart.
Yeah, and even more so than just the anthology, it was really, I mean, really sort of a sense of community. A little like we've been sharing not just these works with each other, but other stories, art. I mean, our sort of I guess sub-server, I don't know what you call it, has really just been like, I don't know, it's just taken over my life for the last year. It's like, oh, these are my friends now. This is,
That's awesome.
So prior to joining in on the class, how many of you were already writing or creating comics? Or was this your first jump into wanting to write?
I
It was
have
the first time for me.
Self-published quick little run that I did on my website, theauthorsolis.com. But that was pretty much all I did. This is the first published one, and it's a huge opportunity, especially Scott's name attached to it at all.
Yeah, this was my first published comic story. I have notebooks filled with, rough ideas and outlines that have gone nowhere. Maybe someday. And I've had some prose short fiction published, but this is the first comic one. So I'm very excited and very happy to be part of it.
Awesome.
for me, a year before the class started, I started working on this large graphic novel, which 264 pages or whatever, which I'm now going back through and doing, like, breaking into chunks and taking a more, like something more manageable than just sort of an all at once. But it was great. It was just telling a story for a year. And then everyone I would talk to about it said, like, oh, that's great. Why don't you tell a 6-page story, like a 2-page story? Try for a 4-pager. Like,
give me some episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, start small, learn how to walk, like work with an artist, that. So that's what this has been. And since doing this, I've been around 8 works either published or like completed, I should say, or in the can, or almost done. So it's been a lot of that. Just been going.
Heck yeah! Congrats.
Head first and go hard. Yeah.
Sorry if I keep looking side to side because my dogs are being extremely rowdy right now, which is why I have to keep muting myself.
Sometimes it goes everywhere.
So, and that's what's nice about the 20 writers we have, is about half are brand new to comics writing, like as in never having been published. A lot of them have worked on their own stuff, behind the scenes in notebooks and stuff, like they said. And then the other half are emerging creators that have had some indie work published, but still deserve to have their voices raised. Okay, there we go. So we're about half on published and brand new kind of thing.
That's awesome. And do you all, see yourself, I'm assuming, keep publishing, keep going, writing, drawing, etc.? The more the merrier.
Stories. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's hard
It's
to
a really
stop.
fun process.
Yeah.
This was kind of a good catalyst to get moving.
Yeah, comics is such a collaborative art. It's always so great to have a community to talk amongst. Feel that whole, I struggled with this artist, or I have to ask for these things. It's really an eye-opener to know everybody else is dealing with the same thing.
It's definitely, the feedback is much more immediate and in often cases better than in prose. So I really
well, it's
appreciate
coming
that
from people you trust now too, which is really helpful.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ari just got into 2 anthologies. I've gotten into 3 since the class started. And Alyssa just got hired as artist for her first artist there, getting some
Congratulations.
coinage. And Alyssa's colors are insane, and I've already hired her for a future project as well. So
Hell yeah.
I would say I did notice your colors on another story besides the one that you wrote and illustrated in the anthology. So
thank you.
that was awesome. I was like,
wait, signature style.
I was like, this art looks kind of similar. Yep, there we go. All right.
That sort of came up very late in the process. That was supposed to be a black and white story, and I was really hesitant about my colors, So I printed out some of the other stories from the anthology to practice on. And I showed it to the group in one of our calls. And Renato, who's the one who wrote that story, really liked it. So we agreed to just color the whole thing. And I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Oh,
It came out
awesome.
really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through and I knew specifically, I was like, all right, let me make sure I pick up which stories you guys, so we can talk about those a little bit. And they were all fantastic. The whole series was fantastic.
They really are.
CK, your story kind of made me cry a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, same. I was like, how dare you, sir?
Since he first pitched
what
it,
happened? I thought we were safe with dog stories. I thought they would be comforting and fun, and like we get stray dogs, and now this.
Okay,
not with this
let's not put me in the category with stray dogs, please.
Listen,
No,
they both made me cry. They're both about dogs, and I did not see either.
At least mine is like, mine isn't traumatizing. Okay, it will make you cry. Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah. And but it is no stray dogs. Let's be clear there.
It hurt me in a way I didn't expect, and I liked it for that because I was expecting it the other way. I'm trying not to, reveal what happened in it, but I think you probably know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an intended twist there, and yeah, I mean, you can't really say much about it, but it's definitely not what you think, everyone, because I know everybody's thinking right now. It's not that. So
I enjoyed it though. You need a story that hurts you a little bit here and there. You get that mix.
Everybody needs to feel.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And then you go over to your own animal and you hug them a little bit more,
a little tighter. Yeah, it's like sad songs. You need that balance.
Yeah.
Fair warning.
Yeah.
The dog one is sad.
I mean, there's emotion throughout a lot of the stories, and that was a good thing. Oh, yeah. So there's one other thing that ties a lot of the stories together, and so what was that element? Whoever wants to.
Yeah, so the main idea was for the connection. We didn't want to hinder anybody's creative process. We wanted them to tell whatever story they were feeling. So the only connection we had was we wanted to make sure that in honor of or as an homage to Scott Snyder's Best Jacket Press imprint, that every story needed to tie into a jacket, whether it was a primary, motivation for something in the story, like it is with mine, and how you deal with loss through, sometimes holding on to a loved one's jacket and you can smell it and it takes you back through the memories, kind of thing. Or it could have just been a little Easter egg on the side. So that was the connecting through line. And we've had a lot of podcasters and interviewers ask about that, because when you have a multi-genre anthology, how do you keep people interested through it? Because it's not like when you buy Color of Always where you know what you're expecting, or any other collection that has a specific primary drive. But I think we pulled it off. And we've been, thanks for the praise there. It's we've definitely been really proud of it. So everybody's is connected to a jacket, basically.
Yeah, you guys should be proud of it. So I mean,
yeah,
we only read some of it, but it's really good so far.
It's and sometimes like you said, it's a primary piece of the story. And sometimes that's knowing that going in of what was connecting them, I'm looking, I'm like, all right, where's the jacket play in here? And it's like you see the main character's wearing the jacket, and you're like, okay. But the genres are all over the place. So if you really, it's got something in there for everyone.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, different tastes are gonna want maybe some little bit of horror, a little bit of love, a little bit of sci-fi. It's all there.
Yeah, it ended up being about a quarter horror, a quarter sci-fi, a quarter slice of life, and then the other quarter is a free-for-all. Yeah.
Just a nice little potpourri bag.
It is. It's great.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we were talking about, we've got, Caroline just went really blurry.
Oh. My freeze or my blurry?
You're blurry.
Stop crossing your eyes.
Let's see what happens.
But we've got creators from all over the place. But another really important thing here is we got a lot of diverse creators as a part of this anthology.
Yes.
Which was that part of the process? You wanted to get a good diverse selection, or was it just everyone that wanted to participate? It happened to come out where we got good representation from different communities. We got 50% of the team is 2S LGBTQIA plus, woman, BIPOC, and or differently abled. Like that's awesome. I think comics need more representation like that.
Very much.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't put any restrictions on who could apply. We really base it on the talent and the stories themselves. But the 4-person editorial team alone, 3 out of the 4 of us we represent other communities. I'm queer, non-binary, and disabled. Arby Lynn Jepson, who is an amazing editor, and definitely the one with the most experience out of all of us. She is non-binary, but she also brings on that kind of socialized female perspective. So that was nice to have that on there. Ben O'Grady, Vietnamese American, and then Joe G. Schuster is our token white straight guy. So we have a nice little group there, and it was very, very important out the gate that we did not have just a bunch of white straight male people, both in the stories and contributing. So we didn't like make it mandatory or anything. It was nice that it ended up being at least half, because we really did base it on quality. And but yes, we were very happy with it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was more of a feature of the community that came together rather than an editorial mandate or event.
Yeah.
But it was sort of just happy accident. Everyone's been
It's
super
a very
supportive.
appropriate reflection of the people who read and enjoy comics as well. A little
That
bit
was
of
the most important
everyone
part.
from
Everybody.
everywhere. All
That's
different
what-
kind of comics.
That's what I feel like I see out there in the comic community is that representation.
I work
Where
at a comic store.
a lot of
I
the
see it
time-
every day.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times you don't get to see that with some of the bigger writers.
No.
It is oftentimes it's the
You really don't see it
I
until
am
you're
that
at cons.
I am part of that. I am the straight white man. So so yeah, I mean it's a big part of, we need more of those voices out there. So I'm happy that that's what happened with this anthology.
Yeah, and it's like Ari was saying with the community too. It's been really nice because we have had people message us on the site, or especially I know we have Aubrey and me have is people who will be like, "Thanks for creating a safe space. I finally feel comfortable to come out as queer," and things like that. And then several women in the group have DM'd us and said, "Oh, this really feels like a safe space. Thank you so much." And so it's like Ari was saying earlier, the community too has been really, really great.
That's awesome.
Uplifting. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the stories. We can go around again, starting with Ari up top, and tell what you want about your part of the anthology.
Sure. So my story is called Chosen, 6 pages, sci-fi story. You can. It's based off an idea I had for a story a while ago, which is basically like, what if Green Lantern, but a little different, without giving too much away. It goes some interesting places. I think they're interesting, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see.
I can
be your own judge.
I can see the Green Lantern influence there. How you're talking about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally wearing a Green Lantern shirt as we speak. So where did this come from? Yeah, I really wanted a story that sort of focuses on the idea of. So for a lot of Green Lantern and sort of Heroes Quest stories, you get the main through line is that someone is special, or maybe the twist is that someone isn't special, but because they're told they're special, they become special, like in the Lego movie or something like that. But usually it's about someone having something exquisite about them. And so I wanted to sort of say, well, what happens if, you're chosen? There's a 15-year-old boy gets chosen to be part of these, sort of Green Lantern-esque space cops, galactic defenders. It's his dream come true. He's partnered with this, beautiful alien woman, fallen deeply in love. And like, what happens when you realize, it's not, they might not have chosen you because you're just this, like, what makes you special? Like, why would they choose you, this 15-year-old, out of anything else? And so it tries to get to unpick that a little bit, and the relationships that we have with the things that we love and the stories that we tell ourselves about, our heroes, and how that collides with the reality. When you get into the organizations that you want to, you meet the people that you want to, and they realize, they might not be all they're cracked up to be, or, maybe what they were saying about you wasn't exactly what, they were actually thinking about you. I'm dancing around a lot of stuff. It's hard to sort of talk about things. But anyone who reads the story will know what I'm talking about. I had a blast writing it. My artist is phenomenal. But I've realized in the process of writing this, I am an insane stickler for detail. So they have this little emblem on their chest. It's the Bright Star Alliance. That's the group the guy joins. And I designed the emblem, and like half of my comments to my artists are just like, you messed up the logo again. Like, please redraw the logo. Like, this isn't what it looks like. So I could see why a lot of people do very simple things, because so artists don't get like hassled a billion times for like trying to like recreate complicated stuff. But I mean, he's also, new artists learning to work with each other and everything. We had a great time. I really, really enjoyed it. And I hope everyone likes it.
Awesome.
Why don't you tell them the creative team behind it, the artists, etc.
Oh yeah, sure. So the creative team, it's Lucas Assis. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's out of Brazil. He goes by LKSASSIS on Instagram, because as Chris informed me the other day, there's another Lucas Assis who has like hundreds of thousands of followers and looks like a model or something like that. And I was like, yeah, it's not that guy. It's the comic writer. It's
the other one.
Like, this guy's kind of cool too, but yeah, he's not
nerd.
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If he's doing both, I mean, hey.
Exactly. Yeah. Some people have it all. Like, yeah. The colorist is, I think, is Jimmy G. I think his last name is Green Lay or something like that. I believe he's British, though I can't recall exactly. I'm pretty sure he's British. And the letterer is Lyndon Radchenka, who is also in our group. And he might have lettered some other people's works, I'm not sure, but he's part of the class as well. So shop at home if you're looking for a letterer is what I was like. I need a letterer. I was like, well, there's a whole bunch of people here, so might as well ask.
Yeah. So I was to say, as part of just what you were talking about made me think of this. As part of the process of creating these stories, were a lot of the artists also part of the group, or were a lot of the artists outside the group that were brought in?
Well, let Chris take it.
Yeah, we basically wanted to, in the spirit of Scott's class, is try to continue to learn and teach others about the various resources they need to get used to in the self-publishing world. And so we gave them a lot of resources in the Discord. It's like, hey, here's some different places you can go and seek out artists if you've never had to work with collaborative in a collaborative environment like that before. And then everybody went and found their own teams and came back and pursued it from there. So it was up to each person, but we do have people in the collection like Alyssa, Ben McCrae, who are like the artist and the writer. Solis, who we'll talk here in a second, his artist is from the group. So some people, a handful of the artists are from the group, but not a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, we figure because it's a writing class, the focus was on having everyone in the anthology be a writer, at least, and then
it makes sense.
This is great.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are multi-talented and doing both.
And other people are like Brian came on and they just do stick figures.
I do have a copy of Paper Girls that I had him do a remark on, and it's a stick figure on a bike throwing a newspaper. It's excellent.
Perfect.
It's excellent.
Good old time game.
So, yeah.
I'll make it quick because I've been hogging the conversation. At this point, we know my story's about a dog. I just wanted to pursue that bond between, a human and a doggo, and it's a heart-wrenching story, and it's not what you expect, but it's awesome. My artist is Deborah Lancinese from Italy. My letterer is Rob Jones from the UK, who also did the trade dress for the anthology and lettered quite a few of the stories. And my colorist is Miriam Yasser. And that's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to turn it over to everybody else now.
So my story is called Malachite. It's also a 6-page story. I sort of wrote it pretty quickly and then revised it for a long time. And then when I finally got to the art phase, I changed a bunch of things again as it happened. I wanted it to be a really quiet story. There's not a lot of text in it. It's mostly just pictures. And I had this idea that the colors of the story would change as like a mirror of the emotion of my main character, and sort of portraying a sense of like loss and isolation, and then moving on and to the final moments of like the reveal. It was really, really hard to do. I mean, I've done maybe before that 2 samples of art for comics, but for myself, not really like something that I wanted other people to
I love the concept of that. I think that is like super cool.
Yeah, and it just took me like two months or more to finish the pages. I remember right at the end, I was like, can I get a letter to do this in one day? Because I was approaching the deadline. And Lyndon Radchenka for the group also lettered my story.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad.
Yeah, Alyssa's art definitely has kind of a Lemire vibe to it, if you ask me. It's pretty phenomenal. And the coloring is just ridiculous. It's just so ridiculously good.
Oh,
Yeah. That, now that you say the Lemire vibe, yeah. I could not figure out what it was.
Watercolors, they have that sort of look to them that it's just kind of ethereal, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to work with, but I think it's worth it.
Your story was definitely another one that hits you a little bit in the feelings, which is good. It's good to see those, like we've got such a good mix of stories going on in here.
Yeah, balancing like some bits of like the highs and lows, like this on the anthology.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. You gotta have the sad and then the happy to bring you back up, and then the traumatizing and then another happy.
You weren't referring to any particular story?
No, sir. Not you.
All right, I guess that's me then. Yeah, I have a super quick 3-page action story that actually spawned out of this. I actually almost didn't get on the anthology. My first go around, I came in with an artist that I tried to find, reaching out through Twitter, and came back with not the most pristine quality. I was trying to go for Oming's like power, kind of really high contrast, simple concept thing. And that's kind of where I led the artist, and I feel kind of bad because it kind of got pushed aside and told to redone or it's not going to be part of it. At the time, I was struggling with money, didn't think I'd actually get it done, but actually pulled up with a quick job that turned around a lot of stuff and got to pull this thing out. I don't know, Scott was always a really good episodic kind of writer. Like his episodes are masterful. A lot of the stuff in Court of Owls, just the one episodes of those can really go a long way. And in that, like, I kind of wanted something really fast, but also set up a lot. So it the prompt of the jacket gave me a lot of background that I was kind of like, what can I build off of just a character who needs a jacket? And from that, it kind of just exploded into this almost kind of manga-based escalation of like, I have a lot of places to take it, but I just kind of want that teased and this nice little opener kind of intro. And just to contrast everybody's beautiful encapsulating stories, it was good to have something that was just like, here's just a taste, and here's just a little bit. I loved how it came out eventually. I met actually the artist that took over in the class. He joined later and just kind of showed some examples, and I jumped on him super quick of just like, hey, can you work with me? Can you make this work? And it did. I found my letterer, an actual friend that when I first started doing comics on Facebook, of just talking to him of like, who do I talk to about getting concept drawings? How much do they charge? Things like that. Dave Lentz is a huge resource in that. Came and helped me. And Raul de Guzman is the artist who did both color and art for mine. And I think it came out beautifully, especially from where it was.
Yeah.
And I think he raises a good point real quickly that the anthology, we're really trying to drive home the our Kickstarter goal is like bare bones minimum to get things out there, because with so many new voices, we wanted to ensure that we got it published. But with every new stretch goal, we built in a creator payment into the base Kickstarter. And then in addition to that, every stretch goal gets them more money. And also everything is a equitable profit distribution at the end. So it's our hope is that, yes, we meet our goal, but then we just keep making more and more so that people get paid. And, Solis and I have talked about this before. A problem that I have, especially with the indie community, or not the indie community itself, but I think it would be, this way for any type of driven situation, is that you have to fund it yourself. Like, even if you get into an anthology and they pay $40 or $50 a page, I mean, it costs me $125 a page minimum. Exactly. So even then, when people talk, well, you can self-publish, well, until you have those connections, that statement comes from a pretty privileged, standpoint. But hopefully we can get them some money. So.
Yeah, and there's been.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, there's been a few creators that we've had on that when we're talking about their Kickstarters, they talk about, if they want to get it out right away, they're fronting the money on paying the artist, putting everything together, or you have the other side where they wait for the money to come in before they can pay the artist, and then it's maybe a year before the comic comes out. So you guys have everything already set up, so it's awesome that you're able to build in that extra bit to try to get the creators more money and keep them going. Let's head down to Matt.
Okay, I wrote a story that's called Armor, 6 pages. It's like a slice of life that turns into a medieval fantasy. It's really fun, and it's art and color by Jean-Marie Orlandi, who's from Italy, and letters by my fellow Canadian, Lyndon, who's been mentioned a few times now. Both of them did great work. And I landed on that story just because I was thinking of the whole jacket thing. And I just had my notebook out and was basically doing like word association, where it's like, okay, what is like a good heavy jacket make you feel? And it's like, well, like safe, like protected. Well, what other clothing makes you feel safe? Armor. Who wears armor? Knights. And so it just turned into that. And it's interesting now because, we've had, we wrote these stories a few months ago now. So now I have a little bit of distance from it now. And now the thing when people are reading it, on my more cynical days, I'm like, oh, it's a little, I'm afraid people are going to think it might be like a bit sappy, but I genuinely wanted, because I've never had a comic published before, and I'm super excited for it. And I just wanted this is the first thing out there that's ever had my name on it. I wanted people to finish it and feel kind of good, basically. So
I really liked it.
Thank you.
Thoroughly. I mean, all of them, all the ones we got to read, I thoroughly enjoyed. There was no bad anything in it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's great to hear. So that was the intent with that, is to write something generally on the positive side. And then the next thing I wrote was a super violent mob revenge thing. So
Peaks and
duality.
valleys. Peaks and valleys.
But I'm super happy with the way it turned out, and the art and colors are incredible, and is the lettering. And I highly encourage anyone to follow Jean-Marie and Lyndon online and seek out their work and work with them if you're open to it. And yeah, I'm just super happy with the way it turned out.
It's a very sweet story.
I definitely like their artwork on that story.
Mhm.
It's great.
You guys want to see something really funny? I found this earlier when I was going through my old notes. This was my little stick figure, because I had to do I had to do my own little layout just to get the pacing right, and it's so egregiously bad. I'm just like,
It's about my level of art
I
quality.
never sent that to my artist. I just sent him the script, thankfully. And yeah, it's. I just found that earlier, and I was just laughing at it. It's like art is like magic to me. Like I can't draw anything to save my life. So the fact that all the art in this book, it's so incredible. So I just stare at it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Alyssa the other day sent us a sample of her new thumbnail layout for the story she's working on, and I was like, "That's your layout?" Because it's just absolutely stunning.
It's like
She's
you're not.
over here just
I have it
laughing
here. I
about
think I can show you.
This isn't the finished product.
No, I have my thumbnails. They're like.
Ooh.
Oh wow!
Make her big. Do the thing.
Oh wait.
Kind of.
Do the
Hold
thing.
on. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna hold it. Wait.
There we go.
Dang, girl.
Wow.
It's
That's your rough sketch.
Yeah, that's a thumbnail, but they don't always look this good though. I have some that are pretty rough. Yeah,
I feel like that is a lie.
I'm just gonna assume they all look just as good as that.
Yeah.
At least.
Right. So
There's this is terrible is phenomenal.
There was something that came up about, some of the stories are parts of stories, or they might be able to be expanded. Are any of you planning on taking the story after the anthology and doing more with it, looking more into that world, like your Green Lantern-esque story, Ari? I could see that there's more things happening in that world.
Bubbling underneath the surface.
Yeah, and without giving too much away, the Bright Star Alliance, the Green Lantern sort of surrogate, they make an appearance in something else that I wrote and is now being drawn. I won't say too much more about it. The people who've read it who know. But yeah, it's every time I write a story, sometimes it's like, this is great, it's self-contained, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But I really like this character, I really like this thing, and there's nothing wrong with just spitting that out. You can change it. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like it's
your story.
Creative fiction, yeah. Exactly. So if you change, so it's been nice to be able to sort of revisit that a little bit. And even right now, I have another story that's it's a werewolf sort of rural horror story. Very moody. I'm really excited for it. It's taken a very long time just because the artist has been very busy. Everyone probably read this in the group has read the script if they've read it probably 8 months ago or something. But it's almost done now. And even then, the characters that I've written, one of the main characters, I really want to use her again in something else, even though she just works for this story. I just like her so much, and I have ideas about how I can do things. So who knows? It might happen, might never happen, but
gonna have your own multiversal character.
Exactly. I mean, even if it's not exactly the same character, you can also still use the ideas. The main, it can be someone who knows them, whatever. It's all it's ideas, and some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them find a home, some of them don't. It's comics. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've created 3 other shorts around mine that aren't as traumatic.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive this time. And so, okay, well, maybe one of them is, but the other 2 are very happy. And I plan on turning that all into a collection of its own. But we did make it, and I'll turn it over to Solis here in a second. But we did make it clear in the anthology. We had a couple of people who submitted stories that were clearly trying to use the collection to drive people to their own works. And we said, no, if you're in this collection, it's very important that this story stand on its own. If you can see this as part of a larger universe, great. but this is not a jumping off point for you. It has to be self-contained.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, this totally was the jumping off point. Like, without the prompt, I would have never came up with the characters that I did. Would have never fell in love with the universe that I made. And while I do want to keep it going, I'm thinking I'm still keeping it small, keeping it just either my self-promotion, kind of still just pumping up the stories in case somebody else does like it, but nothing really big book-wise in the process. It's just a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, this one, mine is very much self-contained. I don't have any plans to do anything else with it right now, but I'm definitely looking to do things in other genres too, and kind of explore different facets of the medium through that.
Yeah, I started with a story that wasn't that self-contained because I was struggling to do anything that was within the 6-page limit. I used to write mostly prose, and I'm terrible at keeping things short. So when I finally managed to do this story and just do it all in 6 pages, it was very liberating. It was like, I can actually do a story and finish it. Because finishing was a problem for me. I had lots of projects and never finished anyone. Especially if I'm committing to also doing the art, which takes forever. Keeping things short is like the best recipe for success.
Oh, awesome. That's exciting.
I was gonna pull up the Kickstarter page here, just to show the stretch goals that you were talking about. Of hey, creators are getting more money at these certain goals and more content potentially at a higher stretch goal.
Right. Yeah. So the first one we hit, the stretch goal, is just all about creator payments, and then after that we have some stories, digital only stories that everyone at all levels will get if we meet that goal. I think it's like 27 pages for the first and 49 extra pages on the second goal. And by some various creators, a lot of them, Lyndon Rodchayko was involved. If you notice, he is a recurring theme on this chat tonight. But he's got a lot of indie experience, and so I think he wrangled some people into to throwing in some support with the collection.
That's awesome.
Nice. I was gonna scroll up also. So anyone that didn't see, I dropped the link. Let me drop it again if you're watching live in the chat to get yourself over to the Kickstarter page. Is also down in the description if you're watching later. So that'll get you over to the Kickstarter page. But it's got all of the stories, kind of a brief synopsis, which is awesome to be able to scroll through and see even a little snippet of the art there too.
All the different facets.
Yeah.
And also everybody
panel.
Yes, that's thanks to Aubrey Lynn Jepson. She is the graphics miracle worker. She unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. She's usually on these with me. She's we're kind of professional soulmates at this point, it seems. But also anybody that we've talked about, for all those watching and stuff, everybody's names are hyperlinked on the Kickstarter. So if you can scroll down and find their names, and even everybody who we had like 10 or 12 people in the indie community review it for us, just give us pull quotes, see if they enjoyed it, etc. And everybody's hyperlinked on there, but people like Fellhound, Elise Russell, Brent Fisher, Michelle Abinader, pretty well-known people in the indie world. To get praise from them was really cool. But yeah, all the artists and everything, if you're like, wait, what was that name again? Like, it's all in there on the Kickstarter page, and you can hyperlink to their socials on there.
Yeah.
Many talented people.
And this, I haven't checked. Is this still available?
Yeah, so I think last I checked, we were hovering around the 15-ish mark were sold out of 50. It'll probably be the last one.
Yeah.
So Scott Snyder was cool enough to say, hey, I'll sign some copies for y'all, and you can buy it. It's the price, the $125, includes the shipping. It includes the physical and digital. It includes all 3 prints by Eisner nominated Jesse Lonergan, GLAAD Media Award nominee Skylar Patridge, who's really blowing up right now with Child of the Amazons, and Artemis, and Sebastian Priz of Rewrite Titans fame. So you get all three of those art prints. You get the stickers. You get my cute little doggo on the bookmark. You get pretty much everything all inclusive in that, and they're selling pretty well. We were, they're in pretty fast to, considering we're only 36 hours in. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are. I mean, this is Skylar's art, right? This one.
I think you're like above 80% funded, guys.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Yes, that's Skylar's right there, Jeremy.
Which is phenomenal. I love that cover.
Yeah, with our three prints with Sebastian and Jesse and Skylar, we again wanted to like let them do their own creative process. So we just said, hey, this is the prompt we gave everyone else. What does that inspire for you? And then with a little bit of feedback, they had kind of free reign to do what they wanted. And I think Skylar nailed it with the idea of like, we're multi-genre, so let's do something kind of vague, because when you're dealing with all this, it can get really specific and pigeonhole you really quickly. It's just a phenomenal piece.
Yeah, absolutely. All of them great, but I think that really does speak very well to the anthology. And then there's your dog on the the bookmark.
Best boy.
Just to remind you of the heartstrings.
And
those, you want to, remind yourself and cry a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Now look how cute he looks. He's so happy.
In like 2 panels.
And the stickers those are designed by Rob Jones as well, who did the trade dress.
Nice. Yeah, there was, and then that one was also a variant for it as well, right?
Yes, you can smack that on when you check out for just $1, not $1 per copy you buy, but just $1 add-on. Yeah, we were going to do it for free, but apparently you can't just offer a free add-on. You have to charge at least $1. So,
well,
you're paying the premium, the $1 premium to get the variant. But yeah, it's got the projects we love from Kickstarter, which is awesome. And then, like Caroline was saying,
you guys are almost there.
Doing excellent in the first 36 hours. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
And yeah, that'll when we hit 7,500, at least everybody can take a breath and know they're getting published. But please keep giving us your money, because I'd like some investment back, please. So that'd be nice. Yeah. Yeah,
especially hitting that very first stretch goal where extra money goes to the creative team is awesome. And I think you guys can do it.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
So what, I know we're here to talk about the anthology, but are you guys working on anything else that you want to talk about right now that, your next steps at this maybe?
Plug yourself, plug your Instagram, your Twitter, Tumblr.
Where can people find you also? So
TikTok.
We'll go.
The youth use TikTok.
Oh God.
I'll start. I'll start since I'm apparently just the guy who's starting.
It worked. You got it in there.
Mm-hmm. Take it. Yeah. I've got very soon. I can't say 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. Within a few days, I'm going to be uploading a webtoon to the Call to Action webtoon contest.
Nice.
There's a big contest for that right now. It actually is getting edited down because it was like 100. It was like 50% larger than it was going to be, because my artist and I just did a big old thing, which we have to make a slightly smaller thing to fit, which is where all the work is going now. But I'm really excited about it. It's a let's see how to best describe it. It's a action sports satire. It's a one-on-one sort of, it's blood sports meets Hockey Night in Canada.
Nice.
Which for all the Canadians listening, or all 2 Canadians listening, or 1 Canadian listening, be like, oh, that's great, meets extremely dry and obscure international bilateral trade arbitration. So I wanted to do something that was satirical, but also an action scene. And so that's going to be up. It's basically a 2-person action scene, with the premise being that they're deciding via, single Mortal Kombat, the who gets what in outstanding trade negotiations between Canada and the U.S. And it's got a lot of sort of Easter eggs in it. It's got a lot of like cutaways to people who you may or may not reference if you know something about obscure aspects of Canadian culture. It doesn't even matter, So I'm really looking forward to that. I've got a I'll plug that. You can go to my website, arigross.ca, and I've got anything that I've published anything that I've completed that I am free to publish, I've put on there. I've got a bunch of stuff that's in the works that you can see. And as Chris mentioned, I recently got into 2 more anthologies. One is called Fairy Tales from Mars, in which I'm doing an 8-page, almost like Hansel and Gretel on Mars kind of thing. A brother and sister go looking for ice in a cave and find more than they bargained for. And another comedy anthology. I got into a comedy anthology with another person in the group as well. His name is Ben McCrae. We had previously teamed up to do a little short before, and we're going to do another thing there. And that's going to be a fantasy comedy anthology about a bard who was like a rock star back in the day and now is just playing with parties and kind of dismayed and has to find his love of music again.
Okay.
So I'm trying to do
like hella fun.
Yeah, we just like
I love space.
We just went to like Bem does he's a DM, I think, like for online D&D games and stuff. So I was like, how about we do a music thing? I was like, I know stuff about fantasy. He's like, I'm a DM. I was like, I would defer to your judgment.
I got this.
Y'all all go last. So Alyssa, Matt, Solis, y'all go ahead.
I'm not currently working on a couple of personal projects. Nothing that I'm expecting to publish very soon. Just I'm starting out offering my work as commissions for other writers that want to have me draw and or color things, which is exciting. But I'm also have a couple of my own scripts that I want to keep like working on. But I'm kind of slow with my own stuff, so but little by little, I hope to like start to gather up a portfolio and finish stories. I got some bigger projects, but they're probably gonna wait until I have a bit more experience. I think they're kind of like a projects for more grown-up Alyssa.
And where can people find you? Do you have a website? Are you just on?
I don't have a website. I'm on Instagram, most active on Instagram. It's at Little Wimbird, and I'm on Twitter as Alyssa MVSS. That's my but yeah, probably should have a website. Another thing to work on.
Add it to the list.
One of those things. I have no immediate stories coming out. A lot of stuff I'm trying to play close to the chest in hopes that somebody will pay me to make them one day. But for the most part, a lot of plans to just self-publish a couple little short stories. Most things can be found at theauthorsolis.com. Twitter, I go Solis Stories. For the most part, I'm just trying to crank out as many stories as I can get because they're all up there. But just got to getting them out on paper is the hardest part. Yeah.
Awesome.
My turn. So you can find me on Twitter at Matt_Dodge, same name on Instagram. I don't post on Twitter much, and it's really just links to some recently published short stories. The most recent one on there is a horror story, so warning, gets a little violent. I have a few things, in this submittable folder, waiting for feedback right now, pitching other anthologies. So hopefully, I'll have more stuff to talk about in the near future. Query letters going out for other stuff. So, I'm in the stage of waiting to hear feedback for on a lot of different things, which, as my fellow creatives know, can last a week, can last 8 months. So, Just hurry up and wait. And I should say, in case anyone is wondering, I am not the Matt Dodge who played for the New York Giants and returned that really terrible kick and ruined my SEO forever, because I still occasionally get online messages about it. Not me. That's a different guy.
He just took a sharp turn into comic writing.
Yeah.
After
that, you had to get out.
Yeah, like what do you do after?
Gotta lead a low-profile life.
Sorry?
Said you gotta go lead a low-profile life after that.
Oh yeah. Everything I know about football comes from Friday Night Lights. But apparently, it was a really, really bad kick, from what I understand.
And you can follow me. I'm most active on Twitter at Chris Does Comics. You can also follow that on Instagram at Chris Does Comics, except with an X on the end instead of CS. Also, so sorry, Solis, I've been mispronouncing your last name for a good 8 months now. So sorry about that. I don't think it's ever been pointed out to me, but it'll never happen again. I apologize for that. I have a 4-pager called Lavender Blood that's like a modern noir reinterpretation of a queer Greek tragedy. That'll be in the noir Greek myth anthology down below that's already been crowdfunded. And I think they're going to try to, I think art's due mid-July, so I guess they're going to try to release around that time. So art's rolling in. You can find some teases for that on Instagram. I also have... So Arledge Comics is doing something called Adorable Assistants, Tales Behind the Art, an anthology about, how our pets help, or how pets can help creatives. And I have a story in there that is yet again about a doggo. Everything I do is pretty much either about
my as long as it's not as sad.
It's not. This one's not as sad. You really hated my story, didn't you?
No, I loved it. I just thought it was so sad. I genuinely loved it. I was just like, I was not ready to feel the way I felt.
No one is prepared for it.
No.
I was like, this is going to be so cute. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I gave her a warning, actually, because I read it first. And we still...
But yeah, I have, with me being disabled, I try most of my stories to either be queer-centric, disabled-centric, or involve doggos if I can. And that one does involve a disabled person and their service dog. So a little bit more lighthearted and nice. As nice and lighthearted as I can be.
Yeah, he says
that. But yeah, to build off of what you said, Jimmy, we had an interview with Jimmy Gasparo the other night. And he probably said the biggest compliment I could, which is, my wife is now mad at me because she hates to feel things, and you made her feel, and she's mad about it. And that was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, take that. That's good.
You can also follow the anthology at Cloakroom Comics on Twitter and Instagram. Also, I would like to just plug a couple of other indie projects right now that we're excited about that are crowdfunding at the moment. Damien Becton has a new project. I'm so exhausted. Worlds Away, is that what it is? Worlds Away.
Is gonna be on the channel on the 29th.
Oh, yay! Okay.
Yeah.
Elise Russell and Ben. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I'm gonna drop the link to Damien's in the chat too.
Okay. That one looks killer. The art's amazing, and of course, Damien Becton. He's a Mad Cave winners of the contest last year, I think, maybe the year before, but so the writing's good. Matt Wilding, I'm really excited for his new one, Free Hands, Gotta Love Something About Pirates. And Band of Bards, who I adore, they always back good causes, and with Elise Russell, The Dark Side of Purity, which is only about halfway funded right now, which shocks me. A 2-book collection about purity culture. And it really tackles a very important issue right now. So I'd like everybody to go check out those Kickstarters and see if they can give them some money. And I'd also like for you two to put some stuff on our radar in the indie world too. If y'all read anything good lately that we should be checking out.
Oh, man.
Oh, did I just put you on the spot?
You did. See, it's funny. I'm one of those people who, like, as soon as you ask me what I'm reading, I'm like, I've never read a book in my life, sir. What do you mean?
know the feeling.
Sorry about that. I do like to ask the hosts some questions too, and I guess
I'll
I
say
should have
one
asked
that
if that
I'm
was
reading
okay.
that I don't think a lot of people are reading is called Stargirl. It's from Behemoth. It's just, it's neon space girl vibes.
Love those vibes.
Yeah.
The world has ended, and they're here to protect it and save what they can.
I will say our very first interview that we did together on the channel was with Nathan from Behemoth Comics, the co-publisher, and on the website we're talking about stuff that they got coming up, and there's an ad for Stargirl.
I've been wanting to read this book for months.
It did not come out that year. It did not come out within a year from that interview. So we always were bothering him. When is it coming? When is it coming?
He's been not so patiently waiting. Poor man.
This one,
it's phenomenal, and I feel like not enough people know about it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This one came out today from Blood Moon Comics. It's actually a local writer to me. I'm in New Orleans. And the writer actually lives in the area, and it's pretty cool. Essentially, end of the world happened because of nuclear bombs, and everyone killed each other. And there's scientists up in space who were there essentially to preserve the human race, though the actual reason told to the world was as a weapon. But they were there for when after human race got wiped out, they kind of fixed Earth, and now they're about to go back down and find Earth might have some nice big creatures on it. So issue 1 was pretty cool.
That does remind me real quick of another Kickstarter that's close to being funded now, Producing the End of the World, the anthology.
Yeah.
And Aubrey Lynn Jepson, who I've been, praising a little bit tonight, one of our co-editors, she actually has a story in that. So
I actually had that tab open when you started talking about Kickstarters. I thought you were going to say that one. Now I'm looking at what else I've got Kickstarters open. What's ending soon? Let me throw one out.
What's Noah's?
That one hasn't launched yet. The Ageless Press, the ones that did when I was showing the corner of my room that Mossvale book that was over there. They've got a new younger reader book coming soon. Superior Sam. I don't know all the details off the top of my head right now. We're gonna be talking with them in July.
I was like, I know they're coming.
It's coming up, but I think it launches July 1st. So that's there, and yeah, I'm looking over what's ending the soonest. There's one ending tomorrow. Justin Gray's Bleeding Pulp 1 and 2. I read the first one of that. It's got a nice little horror story in it about a girl whose family gets killed by monsters, and then she starts eating the monsters. And
that's
seems
a totally
to be,
normal reaction. Absolutely,
powering her a little bit. He also, I think this one's kind of really underrated. Billy the Kit. That was from Blue Juice Comics, a small publisher there. There's so many books I could talk about. So when you ask that kind of question, that's opening a can of worms.
It's just okay, where do we start? Where do we go?
Those are the ones that just immediately I'm like, all right, what's ending soon? What did I just read? I can tell you about those right now. And this one this was a good one from Aftershock that came out today. Calculated Man. Way better than I thought it was going to be. Paul Tobin and Alberto Albuquerque were the creative team on it.
There you go.
Pretty cool read. Yeah. But yeah, we could talk all night about Kickstarters, indie comics. I actually just realized I've got almost a full short box of Kickstarter projects now, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
I have backed a lot of Kickstarters recently, so it's both good because
they all finish at the same time, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and there goes my wallet. but no, I like it because you guys get more I feel like more creativity because there's more freedom in that self-publishing, and you can create whatever you want. So I think that's pretty cool. You guys have any last thoughts? Any last plugs about your Kickstarter, other projects that are going on?
I think I've talked too much at this point. I'm trying to give everybody else the opportunity. I'm doing like 15 of these, but I want to give the creators as much opportunity to talk as possible.
Thank you. Just the opportunity to say thank you for highlighting all the indie comics that you guys do.
Thanks for
always
coming
great.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise. I also just want to plug like Chris and Aubrey and Ben and
the editorial
Dylan.
team.
The editorial team has been amazing. The fact that they're doing like 16 interviews blows my mind. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I don't know how they're doing that. Yeah, it's like they've got more hustle than I've seen like anywhere else. So that's like, yeah, big thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Big thanks to the editorial team, and just seek out all of my fellow creators on this book, writers and artists. Everyone on it is doing really good and really unique stuff with interesting perspectives. So I just say keep your eye on all these people, because I think there's going to be a lot of good work coming out of all of them. So I'm very happy to be part of it. So thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Also, Chris is super humble, but they're actually super awesome. So props to them.
I'm just ready for a nap.
Yeah, like you look tired. You look like you can use a nap.
It also looks like your dog is ready to come play on.
Like,
on
excuse me, I would like your attention.
Naps or walkie, it's hard to say.
Nah, he claws at the door, he sticks his head out, and he comes back in. He's fine.
One of those.
He just wants to do a little check, make sure it's all kosher outside, inside, and then he's like, "We're good, it's fine."
Got to get the screen time.
He isn't sure. Object permanence is hard.
But yeah, thanks all of you for coming on, for putting those awesome projects out there into this anthology, creating new stories for us to enjoy, to be sad, to be happy, to have a fun time,
and introducing us to new creative people, creative teams.
Yeah, and Aubrey is
yes, after all.
Congrats to all of you for where the project is right now, just 36 hours in. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's hella impressive, y'all.
Thanks, and really, really thank you for having us. I know y'all are busy people, so we really, really appreciate your time and your support. Those kind words. And like Matt said, these voices really are ones to watch out for. Aubrey and I have said several times now, we know several of them are going to be pretty popular in the indie world very, very soon. So,
oh yeah, and I'm just glad to see such a hyper reflective of the actual community in a piece of work.
Absolutely. Also, shout out to Ace from Not Near Mint, who told you to shoot us an email.
Thanks, Ace.
So awesome, and thank you to them for that.
Hell yeah. Any last words? Oh, that's sad.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading. Those are good last words. I like it. Thanks everyone who's watching live, who's watching this later on. Go check out the Kickstarter. Go check out all the ones we talked about tonight, and back these awesome creators.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.